How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. We had a volatile time inside of the market, ended up witnessing a pullback, and we had some recent news that came out that did have an impact on the stock as well. And this is why I want to put this video together for you guys so you're prepared going into tomorrow or even on the Wednesday if you are catching this the day of. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $25.51, being down 4.06%. And for the after hours price at the time of this recording, it is around $25.60. Now, when we take a look at where it ranged on the day on the low, it tested $24.94, and then on the high, testing $27.28. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you could see we traded at 31.26 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 25.597 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, but of course with the volatility we had inside the markets, there was a pullback in the stock. Now when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 32.25. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 50-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. So what we've been talking about, Lucid is in a bear market. It has been on a downtrend, but as you can see, it has been holding up support decently well right at this $25 level. It did break through it on the day, testing $24.94, but it was able to close at $25.51. As far as for the high on the day, it was at $27.28. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is if you see strength coming into the tech sector or you see Tesla going on a strong run, I feel Lucid could bring itself back up to this $27 level. If we don't end up seeing that, then of course I'm going to be looking for Lucid to actually fill the gap to the downside, which I talked about before as well, which is around $24.20. And this is very doable. It did get to $24.94, so if we have another candle or another sell-off day, I don't see why I can't get there. So that's one thing you want to be prepared for. Add that to your homework. And as far as the reversal is concerned, yes, you need to see it get back to $27 and then essentially getting back here to the 200-day right around $29.50. And if Lucid could get above 30 right before earnings on February the 28th, that would definitely be a good setup. But for the most part, it is on the downtrend, so keep that in mind. So let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 22nd, we have Tyler Stone Wealth Management that purchased 300 shares. We also have Advanced Series Trust that purchased 37,549 shares. We also see Advanced Series Trust again that purchased 508 shares. We also have QQEW that purchased 336,380 shares. We also have VCAR that purchased 5,139. And we also have Tyler Stone Wealth Management with a call position. We also see Advanced Series Trust again that has 10,082 shares. And then we have QQXT that purchased 57,357 shares. So now when we take a look at at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 61.73%, and then for the off-exchange short volume being just over 6.10 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 35,000, updated 10 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow free rate, we see the latest they have here is at 7.33%, and at the high it was at 8.40%. Now, when we take a look at the short volume history, we can see for the close of the 17th, it was at 49.93, and then for the close of the 18th being at 61.73. So what remains the same, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 133, and then on the outflow, it is at 138. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 3.81. On the medium, it was 78.79. And then on the small, it was 49.94. Taking a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 6.46. On the medium, it was 86.73. And then on the small, it was 45.06, which adds up to being an outflow day. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for February the 22nd, we have that negative outflow of 2.65 million. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.98%. So considering that news that came out today, this is not too bad whatsoever. We know the market was fairly volatile, so we know there's going to be a lot of liquidity, and we know there's a lot of traders who are going in and out of this play as well. So now let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, let's go over the recent press release that came out today. So we have it here. So Lucid Group to recall over 200 cars due to possible safety issues. Electric vehicle maker Lucid Group said on Tuesday it would recall more than 200 of its premium sedans due to a possible safety issue, sending its shares down nearly 5%. The California-based company said there was a chance that the front strut damper, a part used in the suspension in its sedans, was assembled improperly by its supplier. Lucid is not aware of any instances of the part failing in its vehicles, but it expects about 1% of the 203 potentially affected cars may have the incorrectly installed part. It started building a 169,000 variant of its electric sedan in September after struggling with delays caused by quality issues. The company has since delivered a small number of cars. In recent weeks, Tesla Inc. has filed recalls with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration for issues related to its driver assistance system and other software issues. So for my feedback on this is not surprising whatsoever, and I've been talking about this many times in my Lucid videos. This is a new car company. They're going to be having their struggles. They're going to be having their challenges. So this is why when I was saying if you're a long-term investor or you're interested in taking a position, you should exercise patience. They're not going to be getting everything right. This is a growth stock at the end of the day, so you have to be prepared for the fluctuations that you see in the price, and this is why there was no need to FOMO while it was running up. So now that it has pulled back a bit and we have to look forward to what earnings is going to be looking like, for my long-term investors, I still would not go in with a position as of yet because this stock could see some more downside. And in regards to the price action, I was telling you guys there's a gap that needs to be filled to the downside around $24.20. As far as for the low of the day, it was around $24.94. So if we do have some weakness in the market or we have a sell-off, especially as earnings comes closer, this is where you could see things can get volatile and that gap being filled. If you want to see a reversal in this play, it needs to get back above $27, make that move to $30, and then get above 32.50. So keep an eye on those levels. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. Plus, on top of that, we do see institutions have been loading up on shares. But do know, if we see a lot of strength coming into the tech sector, then we could see the buying picking up in this stock. So that is why I always emphasize doing your homework and doing your due diligence before trading any play. When it comes to the market conditions that we are in, it is very important for growth stocks to make sure that they're executing on all cylinders. And this challenge that Lucid is facing does bring in a lot of negative sentiment, especially with earnings around the corner and when we're going to be getting that delivery update. So just know this is going to be an interesting week, and make sure you keep Tesla and as well as other EV plays on your watch list. If you see weakness inside of these sectors, Lucid will be impacted. If you see strength and you see a lot of buying in these sectors, then you should see a bump up in Lucid. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.